All right, what else we got to talk about, Mitch? The
Uh,
Cavs and how bad they
no,
are.
not the Cavs this week. I know they lost again, but we're not going to talk about them until next week. Guardians DFA'd Cal Quantrill, which surprised me.
That
I
it
mean,
surprised me too.
that felt like that because that's a guy who had his struggles this year, but he was a mainstay in the rotation over the last couple of years. And they're bringing up two guys from into the 40-man roster, which this is part of the move to bring those guys up there, Daniel Espino and Cade Smith. I'm wondering if they have a trade in the works and they just want to move them up now. But then again, I'm not understanding why you would just DFA him if you have a trade. Maybe you don't have a trade. Maybe there's just no takers.
Well, the other thing too is you have to remember we are at the point of the offseason where teams that have players that have been with them from the draft uh, are Rule 5 draft eligible unless they're added to the 40-man roster. Now, I personally know this because I have obviously two teammates from high school that are currently within Major League Baseball teams and organizations. One made the bigs this year in Kyle Nicholas with the Pirates. And Mitch, not really your fun fact today, but was going to just say it as my fun fact of the day. Dylan Dingler has been added to the 40-man roster for the Detroit Tigers. If he was not added to the 40-man roster, he would have been Rule 5 eligible, meaning the Rule 5 draft in the offseason. Any team can select him. And so with that being said, he is now on the 40-man roster of the Tigers. Whether he breaks camp with the team next year, makes the opening day roster or AAA, does not matter. He will be on the 40-man roster. And I think that's kind of what you maybe have here with Daniel Espino and is it Wilmer Flores? No, I'm sorry. That's the other one added. Detroit added. Sorry. But Espino's one for Cleveland. Let's remember, he missed all of last year with an injury. He is one of our top prospects. He is one of the players that reportedly was asked about from the Washington Nationals 2 seasons ago when they were looking to shop Juan Soto. Reports were that Antonetti and Chernoff said, nope, hung up the phone. That was that. We know that he is pretty much our most prized possession right now in terms of minor leaguers. So I really think that has more to do with why we DFA'd Cal. I don't necessarily agree with DFAing Cal. I also don't really think Cal was ever going to be what some people thought. I think Cal Quantrill at his best is a 4 or 5 in a rotation. I think he's very streaky. I think we saw the best of what he possibly could be in 2022. Last year, injury riddled season, kind of got his legs back under him in September, but I hate it because we got nothing for him. And I think he's a serviceable arm, especially after you're coming off Mitch. Look how many injuries we had this year. Look how many question marks you have, right? We know McKenzie Sticks can be a potential ace. We know Bieber. We don't know what's going on with him yet. Tanner Bybee got second year Rookie of the Year voting, which needs to be completely reworked. And then you have Logan Allen and Gavin Williams. So if all those guys are healthy, you don't need Cal Quantrill. The question is if all those guys are healthy. I think we have to wait and see. I know we talked about the Stephen Vogt hiring a couple weeks ago. But, what is my take? And I said we have to give it time because the front office has to make some moves. So they've just made a move. Let's see if this is a move that pans out. And let's see now, Mitch, with Daniel Espino being added to the 40-man roster, if the Guardians have good intel on him about where he's at in his rehab process, because if he's at where they want him to be, I think that could also be a chain reaction to them then trading Shane Bieber. If Daniel Espino now, who is on the 40-man roster, is healthy, is clear, and looks good throughout the offseason, his throwing program, could that potentially be what they use to move Shane Bieber? I think it's possible. I'm not sitting here telling you they're going to trade Shane Bieber because I still don't know what they're going to do yet. But I do think in the grand scheme of things, I think this is a move they made because they have other moves they're ready to make. What those moves are, we're going to have to wait and see. He also was owed, I believe, a little over $6 million. So for a team that we know that doesn't like to spend a lot of money, $6 million now opened up that you can potentially use to get a free agent. There's one name out there that I'm going to throw out there, and I want to kind of keep on him as we continue the offseason, Mitch. Jock Peterson from the San Francisco Giants. I do think that is a viable target for the Guardians. I don't necessarily think we're going to have to break the bank for him. He does fit a spot in this lineup. He would go right into right field. I hate to say this, but I am unfortunately over the Oscar Gonzalez experiment.
Mm.
as much as I love him. I mean, my gosh, he gave us two phenomenal moments of our lifetimes in one postseason as a rookie. I'm over the Will Brennan experience in right field. Okay. I would not rule out him being in center because I do think he's better offensively than Miles Straw, but Miles Straw is better defensively. So I could see Jock Peterson as a potential signing for the Guardians. I like that option much more than JD Martinez. JD Martinez is a bigger name. He has played for mostly big markets only. And he still has a lot of pop in that bat, which makes me think he's unrealistic. But that's going to be the name I kind of stay on. I think Josh Bell was the name I was on last year. That didn't work out, but Jock Peterson is the name I'm staying on. So maybe this move is to make moves down the road.
Could be. And it's unfortunate because I do think they're going to trade Bieber sometime, maybe in this offseason, if not in the middle of next season, which is why I would have liked to have a guy like Quantrill, who's a season removed from having a solid ERA, a guy who could put up quality starts for you. But yeah, this is a little surprising. And we'll see what the rest of the moves are this offseason for a Guardians team that has some questions to answer with a new management, new potential looking team this year. I don't know what's going to happen, but we shall see.